Hey, today I'm going to be comparing 6 different walking pads that I got on Amazon so I can figure out which one's best, and I'm going to rank them in order from best to worst, and I'm going to go over every single feature about them, test them out, and show you everything you need to know so it can help you decide which one would be best for you. So first off, I've been using these for a little while. I also have been walking 10 to 15,000 steps a day for about a year, and it's helped me lose about 40 pounds. I'm about 245 pounds right now. So I had to use these sticky notes just to keep track of the weight capacity for each one and the max speed. So I'm gonna just go over them real quick. So the Yagud, the weight capacity is 265 pounds. Max speed is 3.8. The Freepi's weight capacity is 340 pounds. Max speed of 3.8 as well. The Urevo's weight capacity is 265 pounds. Max speed of 4. The Sperax weight capacity is 320 pounds, max speed of 3.8. Akluer's weight capacity is 330 pounds, max speed of 4.0. And then the Superun weight capacity is 300 pounds and the max speed of 3.8. Now all of these have the same length of cord, about 3 to 4 feet. Now something I highly recommend with all of them is, especially if you have carpet, is having these little furniture sliders underneath them. So I have those underneath all of them. This just makes it a lot easier to move around if you need to slide them around. And especially I recommend getting the bigger ones. Some of them I have these smaller ones, but these bigger ones are nice and they just fit a little bit better with the legs. So those are a huge game changer. Now, next thing I wanted to talk about are the different remotes and what's included in each one. So first we have the Yagud, which includes an extra battery, and then the lubrication, and then the Freepi remote that has a different kind of, or has this extension thing, which is super helpful. And this is actually the one I use the most. And the Freepi also has these little screws that you can add on to the feet, and it's gonna make it inclined, so you can actually remove these two feet and replace them with these, and it's going to be like equivalent to about a 4 incline. Now next, the Urevo remote also includes an extra battery and the oil. Now the Sperax is the only one that does not include the batteries. It takes 2 AAA batteries, so I had to use my own. So keep that in mind. This is the only one that does that, and it comes with the oil. Now the Akluer also comes with an extra battery and the oil, and then the Superun comes with extra battery and the oil. They all come with these tools as well for adjusting the belt, which I'll talk about later, or adjusting if you need to tighten it or realign it, or also loosen it so you can add the lubrication. Now the only other one that has a unique feature with an incline is the Akluer. So you can basically lift up the leg and this green one pops out. So if you lift it up, you can push it down like so, all the way. I didn't actually do it all the way, but that's gonna give you a couple, I think it's 3 or 4 for incline. So you gotta do it on both legs. But that's a cool feature about that one. All of the rest don't have any incline. Now let's go ahead and actually test them out and go with the, go over the features for the actual treadmills and kind of talk about how loud they are as well, kind of seeing and comparing how loud they are. So let's go ahead and start with the Yagud. So it starts at 0.6. This one goes up by 0.1. Which is cool. You also have a pause feature for the remote. So that's a nice feature as well, which not all of them include. So whenever you want to pause it, you can. So I only went up to 1.5, paused it, and then once you resume it, it'll start back at the starting speed, which is different from the Urevo, which I'm going to be talking about. So let's go ahead, pause that again. Now for this Yagud one, since I've been using it, I've had to realign the belt a couple times, which has been a little bit tedious. So that's one of the downsides to it. The belt has shifted, and I'll be going over that later on how to realign the belts. But now let's go ahead and test the Freepi. which for some reason it also is like only working for this Superun, which I'm going to be talking about later. For some reason, the Freepi remote is triggering the Superun, and then now the Superun remote is not working for it. So I have to use this one, which is weird, but here we go. Now, with the Freepi, it goes up by 0.2. Unlike the Yagud, goes up by 0.1. And so going up to 0.2 or 2.0, you can see this one's a lot quieter, even not being as fast as the other one. You can also pause it. So you have the pause button on the remote. And then the same as the Yagud, if you press the play button to resume it, it's gonna continue from the starting speed, which is good. And now let's move on to the Urevo. So I paused it at, I think, 1.0 speed, so it's gonna resume at that. So that's the downside, because if you went up to, let's say, the max speed of 4.0 or even 3.0, and then you forgot that you left it on that and you paused it, if you've resumed it, it's gonna start off really fast. So just keep that in mind. Now this is one of the only ones that has a step counter as well, which I think is really cool. It goes up by 0.2 as well. And it has it's one of the two that have a max speed 4.0. But my favorite thing is that step counter, because I'm always aiming for a lot of steps. Okay, let's go ahead and pause it. So just keep that in mind. I paused it at 2.0, and I'll even show you again. Once I press play again, it's gonna go on that really fast speed, continue where it left off. So that's one of the downsides to it. I think that could be dangerous, so just be careful with that. Now let's move on to the Sperax. This is one of the only ones that doesn't have a pause feature out of the ones I'm showing. Here we go. And this one also goes up by 0.2. So we're going to get it up to 2.0. This is definitely one of the loudest ones, but I think the loudest one might be the Superun. So yeah, this one you can't pause it, so that's one of the downsides. I do like that it's a big remote, but you're going to have to just restart wherever you left off. Okay. And now let's move on. And it slowly will go down in speed. Now let's go with the Akluer. Now this one has a pause feature as well. The one downside to this one, I will say, is the remote is not like the best. Sometimes you have to get really close and be aimed really like right at it for it to work. Like so, I was clicking it and it didn't go up. So this one goes up by 2.2. Now this one also has the pause feature, and it starts from the beginning instead of resuming at the speed. So I was just at 2.0, and I'll just press resume so you can see. And it's going to resume at that slow speed of 0.6. Now let's go ahead and do the Superun. Like I said, for some reason, not sure why, but this remote stopped working for me, and I tried even changing the battery to the replacement battery. Still, I got nothing for it. So now I'm forced to use the Freepi one. I'm not sure what happened with it. Let me see. Let me first test if I can use the remote, because I just turned it off and back on. Yeah, see, it's still not working for me. I'm not sure what happened, but switch back to the Freepi remote, and for some reason it works on this one. Now this one, goes up by 0.1. So this one and the Yagud are the only ones that go up by 0.1. So let's get it up to 2.0. And then it rotates through all the different features. This is definitely one of the loudest ones as well. Now, they do have an app that goes with it, but I found that the app could be a little bit finicky as well, and I just tend to not use it. But you can download it right there in the corner, and it's supposed to like track your workouts and stuff like that. And this one also shows calories, which is kind of unique and cool. But now let's go ahead and pause. Actually, I'm not even able to pause it with this one. So I guess with the Freepi, the pause feature is not working. So I'm forced to just turn it off. So yeah, that is a huge downside to that one, and that's gonna make it lower on my ranking. Now, let's go ahead and quickly go over how to adjust and realign the belts. So first off, you get the tool that you need, and all of them are gonna be the same. It's all gonna be in the back. And you're gonna have the screw, which is gonna go ahead and loosen the belt so that you can lubricate the belt with the oil. And that's what this is for. So you can use that. And then if you're going to actually realign it, you're gonna go ahead and use this part. And you can see there's two sections. So you go ahead, and in the instructions, it'll tell you which way to turn as well. And basically what I highly recommend is you only do quarter turns, and then you turn it back on and you see where it ends up, because the belt right now is kind of veering toward the right on this Freepi one. This one I've had to realign it a ton. So just turn it on a low speed and just adjust and see how it moves. Like just adjust as it's moving. And then once you get it in the middle, you can stop adjusting. But that's how you do that. And that's about everything for these walking pads. Now for my rankings, this is gonna be the order from my favorite to least favorite. So first is gonna be the Freepi as my #1 choice for many reasons, being able to do the incline, pause feature, all those things. My second choice is the Akluer. It's pretty close to the Freepi, but the remote isn't as good. It also doesn't have this thing for the oil, which makes it a lot easier. I love the Freepi remote as well. It's just super nice. And then after the Akluer, so that's my second one, I will go with the Urevo as my third choice, and then the Sperax as my fourth choice, and then the Yagud. The reason this one's my fifth choice is because of the realigning. I've had to realign it multiple times in the span of a couple weeks. So that's been one of the downsides in my opinion. And in last place, we got the Superun. I just think it's not as good as the other ones, and the remote not working was pretty frustrating after just only using it for a little bit and having to use a different remote. And still with that remote, it takes away the pause feature. So it's not my favorite in my opinion, but that's the ranking for all of these, and I've really enjoyed using them all.